Y'all, being an entrepreneur is a lot. Hello, welcome to my new video. If you're new around here, my name is Olivia, and this channel is where I share my journey in seeking a cozy life. If you've been around here for a bit, welcome back. I'm so excited to have you join me. This video is going to be kind of a weekly vlog template like I used to do, where I would check in every day and kind of share what's going on. However, this time it's going to be centered around the 90-day basically sprint that I'm doing. If you didn't see my video where I was talking about 3 things that I wanted to do before 2026, I highly recommend going and checking that out. So basically for the rest of the year, my weekly vlogs are going to be following my progress. I'm going to use it as 2 things. First, accountability, to feel like I have someone to share my progress with and be excited to share. And second, to give me something to talk about every week. I feel like I kind of fell off with my channel because so much has been going on. I just haven't had the creative power, the spare creative energy to put into coming up with video ideas and doing that. So I decided to use this as fuel for content, and then also just to get me excited to stay on track, to document my progress. I know I'll just go over the 3 things really quickly from that video. I'm not going to go in depth because that's what that video is for. But the 3 things, the big 3 that I'm going to be documenting in these weekly vlogs for the rest of the year. The first area was launch email list. And in my other video, I called it like launch digital products, and I realized I kind of had it backwards. So launching an email list, in order to do that, I need to create like free lead magnets, stuff like that. But the main focus of what I'm doing is launching the email list. So from that video to this one, I changed the name. It's the same, like all of the goals and everything that I talked about in that video are still the same. It's just I changed the name of it just to make it a little bit clearer for myself. So that's for my studio, Kindred and Kind. The second one is launching Cozy Mate Co., the little cozy online shop that I want to do for home and office items that are minimalist and ADHD friendly. Like I said, I go into it a bit more in that other video, so check that out. The third and final item is finishing Project Sunfire, my adult fantasy novel. I want to finish the first draft, and what that looks like is writing the second half of the novel. So, it's a lot, and I have 90 days to do it. I'm really excited though, because I feel like it's going to round out 2025 for me, and honestly, doing something like this is really helpful for my ADHD brain, because do I have to do all of these things by the end of 2025? No, I don't. Technically, I don't. However, by setting this goal for myself, I create a sense of urgency, and my ADHD brain likes that. If you're ADHD, you probably know what I'm talking about. If not, go read about it because it's interesting. I'm really excited to get these things done, but I'm also really excited to document them here and share them with you. If you have anything that you're doing like this, like a sprint for the end of the year, any like goals or like whatever, I would love to hear and cheer you on in the comments. So definitely leave me a little note. I would love to know that I'm not the only one doing this, and just kind of, I don't know, feel like we're in it together, you know? So anyway, that being said, it is about 1:30. I'm going to go and make some lunch in a minute. I completely forgot to check in this morning. I changed up my routine a bit, where I got up, I chilled with Desi after breakfast and let her get her snuggles, and then I took like a 20-minute walk on my walking pad. And then I like jumped right into a meeting. So Mondays they tend to be a little bit hectic for me anyway, just because sometimes I have client meetings, I have, stuff like that. So I'm not like upset with myself for not vlogging first thing this morning like I had planned. I'm just taking it one day at a time, So anyway, I got up earlier this morning and got all of that done before my meeting, so I'm really excited. And I actually just finished all of the freelance tasks that I had from my meeting today. So I have a few more things to wrap up for them, and then the rest of the day is going to be focused on my businesses, my big three. So I'm actually like working on a course that walks you through how to create an email list and like start an email list. And it's called, I think it's called Hersoft Digital Empire by Rona, and I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but I will link it in the description, like her website and stuff, because I love her approach with the very like soft, cozy, dreamy, like intimate, friendly kind of approach, like teaching people how to do that. I love her emails. It's like getting a note from a friend, and it's so my style. Like I love that style, and it's very authentic to me. So when she when I got an email saying that she was doing a course, I was like, yes, I already know that I like what you do, and I want to learn how to do it myself. So anyway, I'm looking at my Notion behind the screen actually. So I need to work on module 3 of that. And then on top of that, like, it's not part of the big 3, but it is a very vital part of what I need to be doing every day. And so I'm going to include it in these vlogs because it is basically what's going to be the bread and butter of my studio. And that is sending outreach. So emailing therapists, somatic coaches, life coaches, like any holistic wellness practitioner that I can find that really that I look at their website and I see potential where I could help them amplify their impact. I'm sending emails. That's how I got my client, my local client. So basically I need to get to where I have a client project every 2 weeks. So 2 per month. And like to really get to where I can sustain myself. And I need to do that before the end of the year, because of some big changes that are going to be happening. Long story short, I need to be able to fully support myself by the end of the year and not rely on my partner anymore. And after that, like get to that point by the end of the year. And then the next goal will be getting out on my own, which I've talked about in previous videos. So a lot is shifting and changing, and it's a little bit scary. I'm not going to lie. At the same time, there are some things going on that are outside of my control that are giving me deadlines that actually line up with what my intuition has been telling me. So it's scary, but it's also exciting because other people who, obviously I can't control, are making decisions and making changes in their lives that affect me. And by doing that, it confirms what I have been feeling. So I know it's not all in my head. I know sometimes it's really easy to look at our dreams, look at is this, is what I'm working toward a thing? Like, is it possible? Is the feeling that I've had that I need to do something or whatever, is it all in my head? Is it real? Is it worth it? And it's so easy to doubt and wonder. And so as scary as it is to be faced with such big changes, I'm actually very peaceful and excited. Yes, anxious, but also peaceful and excited because of that confirmation. So anyway, I am going to go make some lunch and sit with Desi for a bit, take a little bit of a brain break, maybe play some Fortnite, and then I will be back. My voice just did a thing. I know in my last video I mentioned that I've started streaming. My voice is not used to that. So yeah, gotta get used to that. But anyway, I will check back in later this afternoon with some progress. I cannot believe how fast today went. I was so busy. Aside from taking a little while to play Fortnite with Paulina, yay, it had been so long and it felt awesome to play with her again. We played the Demon Rush, the K-pop Demon Hunters mode that's on right now. So awesome to hang out with her. But aside from that, I was busy like all day, and everything except for one thing on my to-do list is done, and that is working on my novel. So it's 9:15 and I'm not sure if I am I don't know, I may take like a little gaming break and do my Genshin and Wuwa dailies and then work on my novel, or I may wait until tomorrow. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how much I need to work on it every day to hit my goal. So like cumulatively, I would love to like write, X number of words per week and then like be able to fit it in as I can throughout the week, as long as I hit that main goal and don't save it all for Saturday. So anyway, I'm still trying to figure out how to do that. I do want to have my mind like in my novel at least a little bit every day, just to kind of keep the habit. So anyway, but yeah, I'm so excited. I even did outreach. I sent, let me see. Let me pull up my outreach dashboard. I sent 5 emails, and then it got to be 9 o'clock and I was like, some people are weird about being emailed late. I mean, I guess like it's less annoying than text or phone call, obviously, but yeah, I don't know. I was like, 9 o'clock I feel like is a good cutoff. I didn't realize it was that late when I started, but I got 5 done. I got 5, and because that is more than I've been doing. It's more than I thought I'd be able to do, and given how hard outreach is for me, like I had to figure out, like it took a lot for me to figure out a way to do it that felt authentic to me and not salesy, not sleazy, like I had to figure out a way to do it so that it authentically speaks from my heart to make an impact. So, but it's still hard. It's still hard. Even though I have listened to so many designers talk about this is how you do it, it's still tough for me. Eventually, outreach won't be such a big thing. But for now, I need to be doing it like every single weekday. Every single weekday, at least 5, but more, preferably more. I'd love to do several hundred this month, but we'll see. Anyway, so that is my update for today. I think that it was a very successful first day of this sprint, official kickoff day. I think that I did pretty well, so I'm excited. So anyway, that is it from me today. That is Monday in the bag. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I got a bit of a late start today. I got up at 9 like I have been and had my breakfast, all that, and then I got so sleepy I ended up dozing for a while with Desi and only just kind of got started with my day around noon. So I'm just taking it in stride. I had a notification come up from my period tracker app that my period's in a few days, and I was like, oh, no wonder. Yeah, kind of forgot about that. So what that means for the rest of the week, basically, is that I am going to show up the best that I can every day, get as much done as I can in each of my 3 areas, while still obviously keeping track of my freelance projects, and let it be good enough, which that is kind of the way that I try to live every day anyway. It's just even more important when my body is in the midst of PMSing and period stuff, because it is so frustrating to be kind of reduced capacity during that time. I mean, I get it, like my body is going through a lot, and I didn't really think about that until I heard somebody explain it. It was like some reel on Instagram. They're like, be kind to yourself, because every time you get to your period, this is what's going on in your body, and it's a lot. So don't be mad at your body. Don't blame yourself. Don't, listen to the voices that say, oh, you're just lazy, that kind of thing. There's a lot going on, So I'm trying to keep that front of mind this week and simply do the best that I can every single day. I did not end up working on my novel last night. My brain was just done. And I've learned that when I hit that level of done and I have nothing, there's nothing else left, pushing it means I'm not happy. So I decided to just kind of let that go and celebrate what I did get done, which was a lot, which included outreach for the first time in a couple of weeks. So yesterday was a really good day. So anyway, I am going to dive in and get the last of what I have assigned from my freelance client done. I have 2 graphics to make, and I'm going to get those done so that the rest of the day, and honestly, unless something else comes up from them, like in the next couple of days, I will be done with their stuff for the whole week. So that means the rest of the week will be for my business stuff, my focus areas. So that's what I'm going to do first. Somewhere in there, I'm going to make some lunch, and we'll just see how the day goes. One task at a time, and showing up the best that I can today, whatever that looks like. So, say it with me. Your best is good enough. I'll catch you in a bit. I just finished therapy, and I'm gonna basically check out for the night. I got everything done on my list today except for outreach, and I was going to work on it after therapy, but a conversation that we had ended up inspiring me to restructure my outreach email and helped me kind of find a little bit more alignment. So I'm really excited. I'm going to work on composing a new version tomorrow. So I'm glad I didn't send out more, because I think that the new one is going to be so much better. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, otherwise I got freelance tasks done. Let's see what else. Vlogging done. I did not work on my novel today. And again, after therapy, I'm actually wondering if I need to put it on pause. It's just as we were talking through some of the things that kind of came up over the weekend, basically right after I made this plan for the 3 areas in the 90 days and everything, kind of got thrown a couple of curveballs, and I thought that I could still do it, but I'm not sure. We'll see. I'm not going to give up on it. I'm not going to just completely throw out the idea of finishing my novel in 2025. I'm just going to see how it goes. I really need to be using my creative energy and my energy in general on the studio and on Cozy Made. The TLDR is after the end of the year, I will no longer have financial assistance from my partner. And his dad, who we're living with, ideally would like both of us out of his house. And those both basically came up around the same time. So yeah, I didn't expect that from his dad. I thought that he enjoyed having us here. He's had some health problems, and I've had to take him to urgent care several times in the last year and a half. And I thought that he enjoyed knowing that he wasn't on his own, that he had us here if something happened. And he's basically kind of done a complete 180 from how things were when we moved in. And it's been a lot. Both my partner and I have been completely thrown off by that in the last few days. Basically, I need to get my studio to where I can fully support myself and not just pay my current bills, but pay rent. But yeah, talking it through in therapy earlier, yeah, she just kind of helped me process the big feels and get some clarity. And I made notes in Notion, which she's used to. She's used to me either grabbing a pad and pen or typing in Notion while we talk. We have such good conversations, and she's so awesome. She says things all the time that I'm just like, I never would have thought of that. Like, oh my God, this is like, she's just awesome. But anyway, all of that to say, therapy kind of shifted some things for me. And I have an idea now for something to try that she gave me. And I'm going to be looking into it. It has given me so much excitement and hope that, yeah, I don't want to share it quite yet, but it could potentially solve basically all of my problems. So if that is the way that the universe wants to provide, I am down. It may mean being in Georgia longer than I had anticipated, but it would be worth it. In summary, therapy kind of shifted a lot for me in a good way. Helped me. I'm still feeling a lot of big feels, but I have more clarity, and if I need to shift things around with my 90-day sprint and narrow the focus, yes, I want to finish my novel this year. I feel an urgency to get it done and start working toward getting it out into the world. However, I've got to get out of here. I've got to get out of this house. And that takes top priority. Once I'm out and I'm on my own and can breathe, I feel like I will be able to spare the energy to do that. But anyway, like I said, I'm not completely throwing out that goal. If I need to change the goal from finishing the second half of the novel to just going to my favorite cafe every week religiously and making dedicated time to work on my novel, that still works, and I would be okay with that in light of these unforeseen challenges. That's a lot. I thought that come the first of the year, I just needed to be able to cover my expenses with my stuff, and now it's also I need to have a place to go. So underneath all of the anxiety and uncertainty, I feel excited. I think I might have already mentioned it, but just the fact that the timeline I have been feeling has basically been confirmed now by 2 people for me to get out of here and get out on my own. I feel excited because now I know it is not just in my head. And as long as I am taking aligned action, I don't give up. I focus on what I know I need to be doing. That's all I can do. I'm going to let the universe work it out. As I like to say, aligned action equals manifestation. So that is what I'm going with. On that note, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night here on the vlog and try to decompress a bit, maybe cry a little bit more, journal, and then actually, you know what? I'm going to go take a hot shower. Just let my nervous system kind of calm the heck down and probably cry a little bit. So anyway, I will catch you guys tomorrow. Well, here we are. It's another day, and not gonna lie, I am having a little bit of a tough day. I didn't sleep very well. The stuff going on with my partner, and then also my partner's dad and the house, wanting us out, has started to affect my sleep. I can feel it in my nervous system. I'm doing the best I can to regulate through it, and I've been learning about the Let Them theory by Mel Robbins, and basically just focusing on what I can control, which is how I use my time. I keep going back and forth between depression and determination. Depression is man, I'm once again in a place that I'm not wanted, and I want to just do nothing and curl in on myself. And then the other side with determination, is where I focus on what I can control. I focus on building my way out of this place and processing in a healthy way. So walking a fine line today, one task at a time, one day at a time, and look into the ideas that my therapist gave me last night in therapy. So I'm trying not to set my heart on anything and get too excited about the possibility, because I don't know how things are going to go. I don't know what my next step needs to be. It's given me hope, and I'm trying to make sure I keep my feet on the ground at the same time. On today's docket, let me open my Action Hub in Notion. First order of business is an admin task for my people who send me freelance stuff. So I need to do, it's like transferring stuff, like files from one folder to another and doing something with the naming convention and like organizing. So very left brain. And I think that's going to be a good, like, very straightforward thing for me to work on. And then after that, I need to take the insights that I found through therapy last night and rewrite my outreach email. I want to really lean into the softer, very supportive, personal vibe that I am going for with my design studio. And as I was talking it through last night with my therapist, I realized I was trying to present myself more professionally in that email than I really need to. Like, I want to be professional and personal at the same time. So it's a blend, and I feel like my existing messaging is not quite there. I made some notes based on our conversation and I'm going to implement today. And then after that, it's setting up welcome sequence for my email list, working on Cozy Made. I need to get a theme installed on Shopify. At least the sun is out today and it's a really pretty day. It's going to be like mid-80s again. So I don't like that. I was enjoying the cooler days. But at least the sun is out, and I'm just gonna focus on what I can control and take care of myself. That's today. That's today. One day at a time. So anyway, I will check back in later on. Okay, change of plans. I reread the instructions for that admin task, and it is quite a bit more involved than I thought. So, and I'm just not, at the moment, I'm just not there. Maybe later I will be, but right now, definitely not it. I was like, okay, so I need to do, and I instantly got overwhelmed. So I'm going to instead pivot and lean into what I am feeling, which is my business stuff. Anyway, I just wanted to pop back on because this is real life. You know, I had a plan. I started to execute, found out really quickly that I just was not up to it, and I'm doing something else. Let that be a reminder to you that sometimes we just need to pivot when our brains or our bodies say, hang on, you don't need to be trying to do this right now. You're not quite where you need to be to do that, and that's okay. So anyway, I'm going to get started on the other stuff. I am so tired. Today was a roller coaster emotionally, and trying to figure out the email list thing. And I just, by the end of the afternoon, like before I went to cook dinner and just kind of get some space, I felt like I was just banging my head against a brick wall over and over. So the TLDR is I use Squarespace for my website, which I love. Their email marketing stuff is not the most robust. So I'm trying to figure out how to make that work. I was originally going to use Flowdesk, but the integrations between that and Squarespace require a higher paid tier that I'm on. Anyway, I'm trying to figure out what to do and how to set it all up. I even made a pros and cons list for just using Squarespace and using Squarespace and Flowdesk together. So anyway, I spent a lot of time on that this afternoon, way more than I thought, because I kept hitting roadblocks and having to, backtrack and figure out what to do. And so anyway, so that led me to kind of going back to the drawing board. So anyway, yeah, I didn't get done nearly as much as I had hoped. So I'm kind of feeling frustrated. I think it might be part of the ADHD, always thinking that I can do more in the time that I have. This is my first week in this sprint. I'm trying to find my stride. I'm just getting my energy back after getting off of a supplement that was causing me a lot of brain fog and starting to feel like myself again. I'm trying to just give myself grace and remember that, like I said before in this vlog, things change. I need to be willing to pivot as needed and not make myself feel bad about it if I have to. So anyway, tomorrow I'm just going to pick up where I left off. Hopefully getting a good night's sleep and some distance from it will give me some clarity tomorrow, and I can kind of regroup. So all I have is that admin task, and then the rest of the day is focused on my business. So I think I'm going to shift my week plan around a little bit, because I had a lot of foundational stuff for both the email list and Cozy Maid. And I'm very quickly realizing that just setting up my email list and my lead magnet and my landing pages, like all of that, and getting things in place is a week's worth of work. So I am going to be putting the Cozy Maid stuff over to next week. So like building Shopify, like all of that over to next week, because that's also like a whole thing of its own. So trying to do both this week was optimistic and illusions of grandeur. So, but anyway, I'm gonna check out for the night. I think I will do a Wuthering Waves stream on Twitch and play the new update. I think it dropped today. Hopefully get the character I've been wanting, Galbrana, if you are a Wuthering Waves fan. And just kind of check out. As the day has gone on, I've kind of felt a bit more depressed. So, you know, I think I just need to check out for a little bit and get all this stuff off my mind. So I've processed and processed. Now I just need to let it all kind of calm down. Get some distance from it so I can see clearly. So anyway, I'm going to call that the end of today, and I will hopefully see you in the morning in a better headspace. So see you then. I am tired. I could not shut my brain off, so I was up pretty late last night, and then Desi woke me up dry heaving around 6. And of course that was an adrenaline rush, so I was like, oh my god. Just turns out her tummy was a little too empty, so I gave her a few nibbles of food and some water, and she snuggled right back in. I was awake for over an hour though, and I was like, do I just get up? Do I, and I was like, no, I only got like 4 hours of sleep. I should really try to go back to sleep. It took forever, but I finally did. So that pushed back getting up and getting my day started. I am going to stop stressing about what time of day it is and just take everything in stride. Do I still feel, that critical inner voice going, oh, you should have just gotten up and you could have had so much done? And yes, the inner critic is still there, but I am choosing to not listen to her and just get about my day. So I got, I think, 0.6 miles in on my walking pad. I didn't go for a full mile today, just trying to keep it a little abbreviated. But I did walk. That's the thing. I did get a walk in, and that is my goal every day, 15 minutes every day. So a minimum of 15 minutes or half a mile every day is my goal. Once I get going though, typically, especially if I put on like a longer YouTube video, like a 20-30 minute YouTube video, I kind of lose track of time. So that's kind of my strategy. Just get myself on the walking pad, watching something interesting. And then, so as long as I tell myself minimum of 15 minutes, you can do that, then it kind of gets me going. Especially if it's a video that I'm really looking forward to watching and I'm like, I cannot watch that unless I am walking. It's kind of motivating. So the things that we do for our ADHD brain. Anyway, so that is where I'm at. And I did play Wuthering Waves for a bit and stream last night on Twitch, and it was fun. I was able to get Galbrana. I'm so excited. She is dope. So next is playing through the story, and if you know, you know. Oh my god. So if you're a Wuthering Waves fan and you are a story nerd like me, let me know in the comments how excited you are for the 2.7 story drop. I cannot wait. I think I'm going to stream it so that way I can kind of share my live reaction and stuff. So if I have the bandwidth. If not, then I'll play it offline. However, if I do like even, like a late stream, that could be really good motivation for me to actually power through and get all this stuff done. So we'll just see. Do I need the motivation? Probably, but we'll see. So anyway, I am going to stop yapping and get to it, and I will check back in later. How are we on Friday already? I genuinely don't know. It feels like this week just kind of breezed by because for once I had energy every day and was busy working on stuff and like learning how to set up things and like, oh my gosh. So yeah, just looking back over the week and at all the stuff that I got done, like I am feeling so encouraged, even though it's been rough, you know, with the stuff going on in my personal life and, you know, trying not to be depressed and like dealing with all that and then not sleeping well because of it. I still, oh my gosh, there's dizzy hair all over my keyboard. Where does this come from? She doesn't get up here. What was I saying? Oh my god, the sunshine. It's so pretty. The sun is just like glowing in my office. Yay for winter sun where it like, you know, gets lower and it's not like straight overhead. That means my window gets all of it and I love it. So anyway, what was I saying? Anyway, yeah, I'm really pleased with this week as the first week of my sprint. And I think I mentioned it yesterday or the day before. I have kind of realized that trying to do stuff for my studio, Cozy Maid, and my novel, like all three every week, it was definitely too ambitious. I grossly underestimated the amount of time and energy that it would take to do the stuff for the studio. And honestly, I'm not mad about it because at the end of the day, as long as I'm making progress, I'm happy. All I have left for launching the email list is setting up the welcome sequence. Throughout the rest of the week, like I've gotten something done toward that every single day. Like I've gotten my lead magnet set up in with a form in Flowdesk and it's on my page in Squarespace. So like I have my opt-in page, I have the delivery email, I have the link added to my link tree. So at this point I just need to set up the welcome sequence. I'm thinking 2 welcome sequence emails and that's it. Some people will do like 3 or 4 and like, I don't know, as an entrepreneur who is constantly looking to learn, I join multiple email lists for different resources on the weekly. And so, you know, for some people it may work to get like 3 or 4 welcome emails, but for me, multiply that by 3 or 4 email lists that I have joined in a week and it's a lot that I am like, wait, oh, that's right. This one is for that resource I downloaded and I have to try to remember it all. So I want it to be really, really easy because I know that a lot of these therapists aren't going to have a lot of time. So I want to balance them getting to know me and feeling safe in my little community that I'm building. And also inspired, encouraged, like they know when they see my emails come through that they are going to have a breath of fresh air. And why I do what I do, you know, like all of that. So I'm trying to balance it. But anyway, I am going to be working on that today. That is like the number one thing on my list. Once I have that done, then I'll be able to go back to the course I'm taking and continue the modules in that. In the past, I have tended to just kind of speed through courses and like take all of my notes and then go back and implement step by step. And it gets so overwhelming. This time I am going through module by module, and the module I'm on right now is like pretty lengthy and has like a lot to implement. So I am actually pausing working on the course until I implement and then I get to the next part. So it's taking a lot longer to get through this module than I thought it would, but I'm doing the things and I'm not feeling quite so overwhelmed like I usually do. So anyway, that being said, set up welcome sequence. Once that is done, that is the last part of the behind the scenes setup for my email list. My email list will be ready to go. So let's see, today is the 10th. So like next week or the week after, I can start composing my first monthly email, which will go out at the end of the month because that's kind of my schedule is the end of the month. And even if I only have like 3 subscribers, I want to go ahead and send out one because I want the practice. I want to, you know, find my footing, get into the rhythm. So perfect my template that I'll be using every month to kind of have a sense of consistency so people know what to expect. So anyway, once that is done, then I'll be able to post about the Lead Magnet on Instagram and probably add it to my homepage. I'm trying to decide if I want to do it as a pop-up or as like an inline form. We'll see. I may tackle that tomorrow. And then I also need to record a new intro video for Instagram. Although I am thinking about using a method for Instagram that I heard about called the 9 grid technique, where you make a series of 9 posts that are basically evergreen, and that's really all you do, and they teach people everything they need to know about you and then point you to like the link in like their bio. Just because making content for my business like every day or every week is not where my passion is. Making content here on YouTube every week and then on my, Seeking a Cozy Life Instagram, where it's more like my daily life and fun things, that's what I enjoy more than business content. So I'm hoping that with the email list and then like an evergreen set of posts on Instagram, maybe that will be enough to kind of cover the bases. And then, basically like start learning how to run ads and stuff like that. So in addition to my outreach. Y'all, being an entrepreneur is a lot. So much goes into it. And, like so many people who have successful companies make it look so easy. And once you get to a point where you're that successful, you have a team behind you. And if you have your systems set up right from the beginning, it really is effortless. I'm not quite there yet. I am still building my systems and like really like figuring out where I want this studio to go. So anyway, as I was taking my 15-minute walk on my walking pad today, I realized that I need to stagger a little bit more what I'm working on. So my new game plan is 2 things that will be consistent through all of this in the next 90 days are recording every day for these vlogs and posting them weekly, and then doing outreach every single weekday. I thought about doing weekends too, but I don't want to be one of those people that when somebody is trying to relax on the weekend, I'm emailing them about work. That's kind of where I draw the line. So basically every weekday I do outreach, I record for my vlogs, and then I post a video every week. And then aside from that, like this week was focused on my email list. Next week, I want to focus on Cozy Made and get that going, because I've done a lot of stuff behind the scenes on that already to like get the designs ready, like all of that. I just need to do the last bit, and having my attention divided between the studio and that, I just couldn't. I felt the urgency to get the email list first, because that, like, the studio is going to be my bread and butter. And so that took top priority. So now I can kind of have more of the fun side where I'm focused on Cozy Made, and like next week just basically get the shop set up, ready to go, my core products done, and basically the shop live by the end of next week. Then once I have those done, then I will figure out where I want to go next. So basically the overarching thing that I'm kind of imagining has clicked into place for me while I was walking was this month I focus on my businesses. Like, get things in place so that the next 2 months I start like snowballing, and I start getting clients and I start getting sales. Next month, once all of the business stuff is settled and it's kind of set up and I'm in maintenance mode on those, next month is when I can really, really focus on my novel. So I'll still keep vlogging daily to post weekly. I'll still keep doing outreach every day for my studio. But I'll add in, because of all that other stuff that I've done behind the scenes for these businesses being done, then I'll add in daily writing goals and see what I can get done during November. I found out that NaNoWriMo, the actual like nonprofit, went away this year, National Novel Writing Month, in case you're not familiar. So that's sad, but there is what they're calling Nano 2.0 that I just learned about today. And that kind of got me excited because NaNoWriMo was so magical for me. I did it 5 years straight from the ages of 14 to 18. So 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Won every single year. I have the plaques somewhere in storage. I just haven't put them up because, I didn't think I was going to be here this long. But I just, thinking about the excitement of that time and the magic kind of has me feeling a little nostalgic. And so yeah, I think I might try like Nano 2.0 and not set like a word count goal necessarily, but just basically finish the novel. Because when you're in NaNoWriMo mode, it's literally just you are focused on getting words on the page. Even if they are not the best quality, you are working through your ideas and you're keeping a fast pace so that you don't get caught up with your inner editor and sit for days on end on a scene that you can't figure out how you want to do. If you can't, figure it out in the moment, you put notes in. Okay, this is what I'm thinking, blah, blah, blah. You move on to the next part that's flowing for you and you come back to it later. So it's more of like a push to just get it drafted, which I really, really need to finish this novel this year. So that is what I'm thinking. And I know from experience that when I get web design projects, I allot, like a whole week for them. But I work so quickly that half the time I do my tasks and then I'm twiddling my thumbs like, okay, what else can I work on? So even though I am counting on, like I am manifesting at least one client next month. I am, like, it's gotta happen. Even though like with that, like I'm gonna have like a weekly structure for these projects and deadlines for these projects, I will totally be able to get those things done, submit what I need to for approval, whatever. And then in the afternoon and evening, work on writing. And so yeah, I'm really, really excited with this idea. It feels a lot more realistic for where my brain is at as far as my energy is improving, but I'm still not quite where I want to be. And I think that being able to ramp up one thing at a time and focus, use my ADHD hyperfocus to really zero in on these things, allow it to shine basically. I think that that's going to be a much better play. This is way more long-winded than I thought it was going to be, but I wanted to share this process because a lot of times we have to be willing and able to do this kind of thing when we see that something we set out to do is not actually going to work because of whatever limitations. In this case, it is my energy levels and the hours in the day, not quite being able to line up, and that is okay. So all of that to say, by sharing this, I am encouraging you, hopefully, to take it easy on yourself if you aren't able to do the thing you set out to do the way that you wanted to do it. Sometimes we have to change things up, and that is okay. So anyway, from here, I think it is almost 1 p.m. So I'm going to go ahead and make some lunch. And then I am going to pack up my laptop and head over to my favorite cafe up in town and basically sit and write this welcome sequence, get it drafted, get it ready, get it done, be able to hit publish on the sequence in Flowdesk. I am going to go have some lunch, feed the monster who is currently my lumbar pillow back there, and then get ready to head to the cafe. So I will catch you guys in a bit. So it's actually after midnight. I completely forgot to record it all when I got home or anything because I basically just tuned out for a while. Made dinner, we watched a couple episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and then I showered, did all my stuff, and then I started working on my cable management under my desk, finally. So my face is all red from I wore a mask to help with the dust, but I think there's still some in here. Ugh. Anyway, yeah, so my cable management looks amazing now. But yeah, I forgot to pick up my camera until I was going through my bag, pulled out my laptop, pulled out my cables, and then was like, oh, camera, oh, vlog, so here we are. But anyway, I got some good work done at the cafe. I got 2 of the 3 emails that I written that I needed to, so yay. I decided to do 2 different welcome sequences depending on if someone is entering my email list through a lead magnet or not. So I decided to kind of break it down. Anyway, so I got 2 of the 3 done that I needed. So that is it. I think I'm done for the weekend with work. So tomorrow is just going to be hanging out, maybe work on my novel, maybe do some streaming, stuff like that, now that I basically have the bulk of the tough stuff done for my email list. So yeah, on that note, I'm going to do my dailies in Genshin, Wuthering Waves, and Sky Children of the Light and try to relax a bit. I'm so wired, even though I didn't really have caffeine this evening. I don't know why, so I'm hoping just sitting here and chilling will be good and sleep well tonight. So yeah, I guess I will call it the end of the vlog here. I think Monday through Friday this week would be good for a first week vlog. So thank you for hanging out with me this week and following my journey. Again, if you are doing any kind of challenge like this, like now to the end of the year or whatever, please share in the comments. I'd love to cheer you on. I'll see you next week. And until then, stay cozy.